Hey, my name is Tylon Garrett, also known as Trevorsky, and today we're going to talk about the heavy topic of systemic racism.
As a black man born in the South, this has actually been my lived experience. And what I wanted to do is pull back the curtain and show you just what the life of a black man can be like. Despite the fact that the United States integrated schools back in 1954 with Brown versus Board of Education, schools are still pretty segregated. White school districts get around 23 billion more funding per year than non-white school districts. Schools are funded by property taxes, which are a function of property values. And when you layer on things like redlining, which prevent black people from living in specific neighborhoods that would actually have good schools, you basically make a world in which black students have to go to school in black neighborhoods. And I was fortunate enough to go to one of the best schools in my district because my dad was a teacher. I have a memory of early high school. Went to a party. It was a typical high school party, probably a couple of Mike's Hard Lemonades there. Long story short, the police get called. They knock on the door. They talk to the parents. They come down to the basement. They say, everyone's going to have to go home. You all are underage. You can't do this. That's it. It's not even a slap on the wrist. It's just we'll see you later. My brother, who did not go to a predominantly white school, his experience around the same age, basically the same exact town, was very different. He went to a party and there was a house nearby that was shooting fireworks. Someone in the neighborhood called the police, said they heard gunshots. The police went and investigated. They found out it was fireworks. And leaving that house, they passed the house where my brother was and saw a bunch of black kids just like hanging out, went in and arrested everyone. They actually brought in a bus and just took them all in. The fact that I got to leave one party in a Yukon and go continue hanging out with my friends in a different basement versus like my brother and his friends got bussed off to a county jail. This is pretty much the same town. We were around the same age. We just happened to go to different schools and there was a different income profile. That story ended in a very different way. Things are not policed the same for black individuals and non-black individuals. George Floyd was arrested on the suspicion of using a fake $20 bill. How we get from such a petty crime to a murder, it's beyond me. 1 in 4 black men will spend time in prison. Black mothers are up to 4 times as likely to die during childbirth than their white peers. 40% of first and second year medical students actually think that black people have thicker skin than white people. That's pretty troubling that people believe that. Black people are 40% less likely to get pain medication when they're in hospitals. Breonna Taylor was murdered in her bed after a no-knock search warrant was served to her and her boyfriend. And I'm not here to debate the warrant or any of that, right? It's just the fact that the policeman showed up, bust into her house, and shot her in her bed under the suspicion that her and her boyfriend might have been doing something wrong, her or her boyfriend. How does this happen to someone like Breonna Taylor? Like, how she served a no-knock warrant? Meanwhile, we have fraternities on college campuses where we know things like Rufalin and cocaine, and yet we're not reading about policemen kicking in the front doors of fraternities and shooting white boys while they sleep. I say on a daily basis, I'm fearful because I've seen, Philando Castile, who was shot complying with the law, right? Like, he was just showing the officer his license. That's what you're supposed to do if you get pulled over. Ahmaud Arbery was shot taking a run. Botham Jean was literally in his living room eating ice cream. An off-duty police officer shot him because she thought it was her apartment. And just to know that I can do things like that, I can show you my license. I can, be minding my own business in my home. I can be just like trying to maintain personal fitness, and it can result in me losing my life. Like, I'm always angry, but I can't express my anger because we have black people who are not expressing their anger who are being killed. 2008, a black man is elected president of the US. So the most, prestigious position. That was like a huge moment of like hope. But then Trayvon Martin is killed, right? So being born black in the US, it's one of the most unpredictable experiences. You could be president or you could be shot running. And, people like look at us as aggressive and violent and angry without even looking at the hatred that makes us that way. Being born Black in America, you don't feel like you control your own destiny because you can do everything right and then become like a martyr for a cause that should have been ended decades ago. Police brutality is only the tip of the iceberg. Listen to those of us who are saying that we can't breathe. Listen to us when we tell you the criminal justice system is attacking our men. Rebuke those who perpetrate racist actions, even if it's your parents. Rebuke those who deny us loans and insurance on the basis of redlining. Smile at us when we walk by. Plan a dinner with your family to talk about racism.
Realize this is more than a battle against racism. This is a war against hate.